The top 1%. It's a term often thrown around, a symbol of both aspiration and resentment. But what does it actually take to join this exclusive club? In America, it's not just about living comfortably. It's about possessing a level of wealth most can only dream of. To be counted among the top 1% in terms of net worth in 2025, you need a fortune exceeding $12.6 million. This figure represents the sum total of your assets, including real estate, stocks, and other investments, minus any debts you may have. But wealth isn't just about what you own, it's also about what you earn. The income threshold to be considered part of the top 1% is a different beast altogether. In 2025, you'd need an annual income of over $597,815 just to crack the top 1%. These figures paint a stark picture of the financial divide in America, where the entry point to the top 1% is a distant dream for the vast majority. Being part of the top 1% is more than just having a high income or a hefty net worth. It's about holding a disproportionately large slice of the nation's wealth. And let me tell you, that slice is enormous. As of 2025, the top 1% of Americans control a staggering 38% of the nation's total wealth. This figure has been steadily climbing for decades, highlighting a growing concentration of wealth in the hands of a select few. To put this into perspective, the bottom 50% of Americans, roughly 165 million people, collectively hold a mere 3% of the nation's wealth. This stark contrast underscores the immense disparity in wealth distribution and its profound implications for American society. So, who are these 1%ers? Contrary to popular belief, they aren't all Wall Street tycoons or tech moguls. While those groups do make up a significant portion, the top 1% is a diverse group with various sources of wealth. You'll find CEOs and entrepreneurs who've struck gold with innovative ideas and businesses. Real estate moguls who've capitalized on booming property markets are also well represented. And of course, there are those who've inherited substantial wealth, their fortunes passed down through generations. However, certain professions are disproportionately represented within the top 1%. Finance, tech, and executive management consistently rank among the highest earning fields, propelling individuals into this exclusive income bracket. Think the cost of living in San Francisco is high? Well, it turns out that joining the top 1% in the Bay Area is a whole different ballgame. The income threshold to be considered part of this elite group varies significantly across the country. In some of the most expensive areas like Manhattan and Silicon Valley, you'd need an even higher income to crack the top 1%. Think closer to $800,000 or even $1 million per year. On the other hand, in more affordable regions like the Midwest, the threshold dips below the national average. But don't be fooled by these seemingly lower numbers. The cost of living might be lower, but the gap between the top 1% and everyone else remains a significant issue. Section 1. The 1% and the taxman contributions and controversies. The issue of how much the top 1% pays in taxes is a perennial hot potato. Critics argue that the wealthy don't pay their fair share, benefiting from loopholes and deductions that allow them to minimize their tax burden. While it's true that the top 1% contributes a significant portion of total federal income tax revenue, the debate often revolves around whether they pay enough relative to their immense wealth. Proponents of a more progressive tax system argue that the wealthy should contribute a larger percentage of their income to fund essential public services and address income inequality. Others contend that increasing taxes on the wealthy could stifle investment and economic growth. Section 2. Beyond the 1%. A glimpse into the ultra-wealthy. Within the already exclusive realm of the top 1% exists an even more rarefied group, the top 0.1%. These are the ultra-wealthy individuals and families whose fortunes dwarf even those of the ordinary 1%ers. To join this elite echelon, you'd need a net worth exceeding $40 million. That's not a typo. We're talking about a level of wealth that's difficult to even comprehend. The ultra-wealthy often operate in different circles, their financial decisions having a disproportionate impact on the global economy. Their immense wealth affords them a level of influence that extends far beyond their financial holdings. Section 3. The widening gap charting wealth concentration since 1989. The year 1989 might seem like ancient history, but in the story of wealth inequality in America, it marks a pivotal turning point. Since then, the gap between the rich and everyone else has been widening at an alarming rate. In 1989, the top 1% controlled around 25% of the nation's wealth. Fast forward to 2024, and that figure has ballooned to nearly 38%. This dramatic increase reflects a confluence of factors, including globalization, technological advancements, and policy decisions that have favored the wealthy. This trend has far-reaching consequences for American society, eroding the middle class, and fueling social and political polarization. Section 4. A Nation Divided, Comparing Wealth Across Income Brackets. The stark reality is that the wealth gap in America isn't just about the top 1% versus everyone else. It's about a widening chasm between the wealthy, the middle class, and low-income households. While the top 1% has seen its wealth soar, the middle class has struggled to keep up. Stagnant wages, rising costs of living, and a shrinking social safety net have left many middle-class families feeling squeezed. Meanwhile, those at the bottom of the income ladder face even greater challenges, often struggling to afford basic necessities like housing, healthcare, and education. Section 5. From Coast to Coast, Exploring Regional and Urban-Rural Wealth Disparities. The wealth gap in America isn't just an economic issue, it's also a geographic one. Wealth inequality varies significantly across the country, with certain regions and even cities experiencing more extreme disparities. Coastal cities like New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, often associated with high-paying industries like finance and tech, tend to have higher concentrations of wealth. This concentration of wealth often leads to stark contrasts within these cities, with affluent neighborhoods existing alongside pockets of poverty. Rural areas, on the other hand, often grapple with different challenges. While the cost of living might be lower, job opportunities can be scarce, and access to essential services like healthcare and education can be limited. Section 6. A Future on the Precipice Implications of the Growing Divide. The growing economic divide in the United States is not just a statistic, it's a societal fault line. As the gap between the wealthy and everyone else continues to widen, it threatens to unravel the very fabric of American society. The implications of this growing divide are far-reaching, impacting everything from social mobility and political representation to access to opportunity and the very notion of the American dream. Addressing this issue requires a multifaceted approach, including policies that promote economic opportunity for all Americans, strengthen the social safety net, and ensure that the wealthy contribute their fair share. The path forward won't be easy, but the stakes are simply too high to ignore. The future of America, as a nation that values equality and opportunity for all, hangs in the balance.